You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the November 20th meeting for the Michigan City Board of Aviation Commissioners. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
It's called to order. This is our Board of Aviation Commissioners meeting, and we are in Michigan City, Indiana. And today's date is November 20, 2025, and it's 3 p.m. The members present today are Jeff Bartlett, Kirk Hunter, myself, Greg Fuller is absent. Myself, T.Y. Oakson, present. We do have a quorum. Others present: Jessica Ward, airport manager, and Nancy is coming or not? No. Okay. So Nancy, Michigan City liaison, is absent, and Paul Schaefer is engineer from BFNS, and Santos is also from BFNS, so welcome. We have Paul Weiser is AOPA.
Oh, nice.
Liaison. I think it's, then we have guests, and Andy, photographer, is here today, so welcome. Let me see, did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes?
I looked at it, I didn't see any reason for changes. I moved that be accepted as written.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay,
Yes,
let's move on to airport manager, all the reports.
okay. Account balances. We are currently under our projected monthly budget in all budget lines except household and equipment repairs. There are some lines that we are negative in, and that is very typical for this time of year, which everybody knows. All the negative line balances will need to have transfers before the end of the year, which are not going to be an issue at all. Fuel sales. Overall, we sold 2,280.2 gallons of 100 low lead, 2,848 gallons of Jet A, and 140.6 gallons of unleaded 94 in October. Our current fuel prices all went down. $4.63 for self-service avgas, $4.78 for full-service avgas, $3.90 for self and full-service Jet A, and we're sitting at $6.45 for self-service unleaded 94. I still cannot access any files, so I do not know fuel sales compared to last year or years prior, so we're just winging it. We're doing well. That's what we're going to wing it with. And if you look at our cost of fuel on the bottom of that sheet, you can see LaPorte and Porter County are at $5.30 and $5.85 for 100 low lead self-service, and we're at $4.63, so we're well ways underneath them. Of course, Knox, just $4.45. 100 low lead full service, they're at $5.45 and $6.05. We're at $4.78. Jet A, we're even less than Knox at $3.90. They're at $3.95. And $4.30 and $5 for LaPorte and Valparaiso. So we're doing really good there as well. Mm-hmm. And UL 94, we're at $6.45, and Griffith, Maryville is at $7.09. So our fuel prices are really great here. I try and keep them as low as I can, so we get lots of traffic.
Excellent.
For my manager report, what do I have here? I have a UL 94 update. So at the Aviation Indiana Conference this past month, we had a representative from Swift Fuels there. I'm giving an update on that aviation grade unleaded 100 octane fuel. He stated their 100 hours close to being approved by the FAA for use, and was hoping by the end of the year it would be available. He stated as soon as that happens, they are no longer going to be making the UL 94, and the airports that currently carry UL 94 are supposed to be the first to get the new 100R. That's what their goal is. So I just reached out to Swift Fuels at the beginning of this month because we were going to need a load of fuel. So I reached out to them and asked how the switchover is going to work. and they told me that he could bring me a half a load of the UL 94, and when they're ready to transition to 100R, they'll just manage that transition then, and they would remove whatever we have left in the UL 94 and put in 100R, and then that can also be done on the same truck. So I said, yay, that sounds great. So I just got 500 gallons instead of 1,000 of the UL 94. So we'll be ready to switch over to the 100R whenever 100R becomes available.
How soon are you
They were hoping by the end of the year. I do not have an update other than that, but I'm not sure.
Can you mix them?
You cannot mix them because it's 94 octane compared to 100 octane. So you can mix it. They have like a ratio that you can mix if it's 100 low lead, and then 100R, they can kind of mix that because it's the same octane, but you cannot different octanes, 94 to 100.
Where's the 100R gonna go?
It's going to go in the tank where the UL 94 is now. They would make that transition on one truck where they would remove whatever 94 we have left and they would put in 100R.
Okay.
There's no cleaning needed, like tank cleaning or anything between those.
What are the prices right now? Is there a
I have
general,
no
I
idea.
have no idea what's going on.
No clue.
Okay, all right.
Nope.
All right.
So it's going to be more than 100 low lead. I know that. Than like what the pricing is for that. So
But it's gonna be more, you think it's gonna be more widely distributed than UL 94?
yes, eventually, when
Right.
everybody switches over to it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, moving on. Weights and measures. Weights and measures came out to check our fuel, and after Hoosier Equipment makes some small adjustments, we have all of our stickers for all of our dispensers. We have the 3 dispensers for self-service, and then we have 3 dispensers for the trucks. But we only have 2 trucks, you ask. But the Jet A truck has 2 dispensers on it, single point, and then we have a regular overwing hose, and then another one. So we have 2 different meters. Avgas truck repair. Central Maintenance was out to look at our Avgas truck. We have a radiator leak and a brake booster leak. They have the radiator in stock to replace, but they have to look at aftermarkets to fit the truck for the brake booster because they don't make those anymore. This is a really old truck.
How old is it?
Old. Really old.
20?
I don't know the old. Over 20 years old? Oh, yeah.
Some of those trucks from the 1970s.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's like a 76 or something, maybe. It's an old chassis. She's an old girl. So yeah, they have to fit aftermarkets. So they have like 2 more parts that they're waiting on aftermarket to get here, and then they'll come out and make all the repairs at one time. So we'll probably have to put the Avgas truck out of service for however long it takes to repair. But luckily we have 100 low lead, good and ready to go self-service. So, new fence repair updates. This has been really fun, you guys. So I've been trying to get estimates for fence repairs. We have the SRE building and it had a fence. Do you remember originally the plans had a fence to go around it? Well, what happened was the construction costs came in too much, and so then we had to cut a bunch of stuff, and everybody remembers the fence was one of the things that we cut because we could always add it later. And so that was one of the things that I had estimated now to see how much it would be to put a fence there now, to close that drive, because we do have people that actually will drive through there and drive through our gate and get on the airfield. It happens more frequently than I like. During hours, of course, when we're here and the gates are open because we're busy working. So I have one estimate for that so far. I just need one more. So I'm waiting on that to find out if we can use our do a purchase order for end of year money this year to go towards that project. So that's what I'm hoping that we're doing. But I need one more estimate before I'm allowed to do the purchase order for that. We also have, I'm waiting on 2 estimates for perimeter fence repair. We've had trees falling on the fence, things like that, all around our entire perimeter. So some areas need repaired, the fence material needs repaired, we have barbed wire that might need repaired. A lot of those like cats, what are those called? The barbed wire holders.
Yeah.
Some of those need like repaired or, replaced. So we have like lots of things around the perimeter like that. So I've had one company so far come out, do the whole drive around, write down down everything that we needed, and he's gonna get me an estimate. I'm gonna get that one soon. And then the other estimate, I'm just still waiting on them to come out and look at it, because everybody's busy. We all know, everybody's busy. It takes forever to get estimates right now. So, I'm waiting on the second estimate and the first one for that. So then I'll know how much that repair is, because hopefully we have money for that as well, because those really need to get done. And then we had the accident. Remember the car that hit the pole at the skydive entrance? I have an estimate for that. I still need one more estimate in order to get that repair done, but I should get that one soon. And so the city's deductible is $25,000. And this came in, I can't say how much the estimates are because we're waiting on another one to come in, but this estimate was well below $25,000. So we can't use, it's just gonna have to be paid out of pocket, like out of our budget. So, 3 big fence things. I'm hoping to somehow pull them all together and get them all done.
Are we gonna hold the person responsible?
So that is not up to me. That is up to the police and the city attorney, and whatever they do with all that is on their own. But there was a video,
Okay.
and we know who did it, and their license plate was gotten from the video and everything. So, but yeah, the airport doesn't do that. That's city work.
Okay, so nothing's gonna get done.
Maybe we'll get the money back, but the city probably will. We probably won't, but the city will. So that's good. Good for them.
All right.
And the last thing I have is vending machine repair. The refrigeration unit went out on the vending machine. The vending machine we bought it's 6 years old, so 2019. The replacement estimate for the refrigeration unit is $1,800. That's like 40% of the cost of the whole vending machine, of course, because the refrigeration unit is very expensive. So I've called every person on the planet close to here that could maybe even repair a vending machine. No one does vending machine repairs. But I talked the person that does our heating and cooling, I talked him into looking at the vending machine refrigerator. I'm like, please just look at it. It could be like a wire, who knows? And so he said, fine, when I get back from vacation, I'll come out and look at it, and I'll let you know, if it's, needs the whole unit, or if it's just like a simple repair. Because the only other person I could get was Schaefer Distributing. They're out of Ohio, and that's who we got the machine from. For them to come out, it was going to be, $240 this, $200, all that. So he's going to come out when he gets back December 3rd. So we should find out if we need a whole new refrigeration unit for it.
How much is a new vending machine?
It's like we purchased this one for like $5,000.
Okay.
Holy cow.
And so I don't know if that's something. I mean, if we need a whole new refrigeration unit for $1,800 plus, they'd have to bring it out, they'd have to install it and all that. Yeah. So if we need that, I don't know if it's worth it to put in a new refrigeration unit or get a new vending machine. I don't know. That's something we'd have to talk about. But December 3rd is when I'll know. So at our next meeting, we will have a discussion. Unless it's an easy repair. And then I'll say, never mind, just kidding.
But thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Okay.
All right, airport development.
That's it for me.
Yeah, thank you, Jessica. Airport development.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you all again. And sorry I missed the aviation conference. I know Jessica was there after a couple of years of absence from that. And I heard great reports that you were,
Of course you did.
well, representing the community very well. So thank you. So we've got some action items here that all kind of do fall in line with the
The agenda.
the agenda here. Do we have a CIP?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, do we?
No. I
Well,
don't-
you sent it to us.
Yeah. But you do have the pre-application on there, so that's good, because the CIP and the pre-application go hand in hand. So both are due December 1st. What you have in your packet is a draft of the CIP. So I'd like to talk about that first, and it is dominated by the runway. So you can skip over the cover letter, turn to the page with the yellow stripes on it, which is like the third page back. You it's on my there. This is the summary page, and actually Emma and the lady in the office have been frantically working on these and updating it. Yours is not that much different than years past, although you'll see that we finally came back around to our turn to hopefully start the runway project. Let's not get too excited, but they are programming basically $6.2 million in 2025 for the runway project.
2026?
2026, yeah, 2026.
I was like, right now? Oh my gosh.
2026.
1 month?
Yeah, 1 month.
Gosh.
So 2026, of course, the amount that they have set aside is not quite what we asked for last year. We kind of went over that. We asked for basically 7.5 million. They put in 6.2. The good news is if you get on the discretionary candidate list, which is a list of projects that compete beyond your entitlement, your non-primary entitlement funds, that's kind of the key. Because you're competing for projects, you're not competing for dollars. So if they proceed forward funding these portions of the project, then if the dollars are higher or lower, it is what it is. It's not, it's not based on the dollar amount, it's based on the name of the project. So the two things is priority 1, 2, 3 is basically what we're talking about. The priority 1 is the temporary road construction and the storm sewer construction. So, if you'll recall, before we can lower the road, we have to build a temporary road to put the US 20 traffic on while we lower 20 down. So this would build that, and before we lower the road, we need to have a place for the water to go before you dig the hole. So this will install all the storm pipe to outlet that water. So that is in various stages of design. Your 2025 grant did, which on your agenda is the AIP 31. We received a chunk of money towards that to finish up the design of the temporary road in the storm. So that will fund the majority of that. So we will be able to have bids in hand and ready by June of 2026 when the discretionary grant applications go in. So that's basically the first year of the CIP. You'll notice priority 2 in the funding type, the first line has a 1, that's the federal funds. The second line has the IIJA. To refresh your memory, funding type 1 is normal AIP, Airport Improvement Program money. IIJA, formerly known as BILL, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Legislation, is now the Infrastructure Investment Jobs Act. It's just same money, different name. So that's that money. You'll see that on line 4, there's another IIJA project, and that's with the fuel farm. The normal AIP and IIJA are 2 different pots of money. We believe that the maximum amount of federal funds that we can use on the fuel farm, when we get their blessing to do so, and I'll talk about that in a minute, is $455,000. So as a token of goodwill, we're putting the balance of your IIJA money towards the runway project to say, hey, we're not going to do any more pet projects at the airport. We want to get the runway. So it's kind of not very much money, but a good faith token. So priorities 1, 2, 3 are all dedicated to the runway. Priority 3, you'll see that 4.8 million. Those are, if you recall too, with the temporary road, we have a whole new utility corridor that's going south of the temporary road. That'll be the new home for all the utilities that are currently in the US 20 right away. So you have Michigan City Water, you have Michigan City Sanitary District Sewer, electric, gas, and a whole bunch of different fiber optic companies in there. The only one you actually have to pay to relocate is Michigan City Water and Michigan City Sewer because they own actual prescribed easements. The rest of them there are at the pleasure of NDOT. They don't actually own their easement. They're just in the right of way. So they have to relocate at their expense. But we do have to, under the project, pay to move the water and the sewer. Those are not bid as part of your project. So we're not going to bid those with the runway, with the temporary road or the storm. There'll be 2 relocation agreements that are reimbursable agreements with those utilities. So there'll be 2 of them. We're estimating at 4.8. Those agreements actually haven't been agreed upon yet, but we'll work towards that. So that's part of our ask. So this first year of the CIP also becomes your pre-application amount on what you're gonna ask for. So in the pre-application, you're gonna ask for the temporary road, the storm sewer, and the utilities. That's totaling $7.5 million. That's what we're gonna ask for. We'll see what we get. Hopefully we can get something. If we do, it'll be very exciting because that will start a prior year discretionary spend. So then in '27, when we ask for another $7.7 million, we have a prior year discretionary flag, which puts it to the top of the list. Because the FAA has a thing on, once they've started a project and they put a substantial amount of discretionary money, they want to spend until it's complete. So that getting this first year, and it is kind of you're probably sitting there thinking, we've already started this project because we've already bought the right of way, we've already spent some money on design and all those things. These are all true things, but they did hit pause because of some large airport projects in the state. So we basically were on a 4-year hiatus pause. So this is supposed to be our moment to get back online. So from there, the rest of the CIP is entirely focused on the runway project to bring it to completion. So if we were to get all this money per plan in 31, we would be basically overlaying the tail end and replacing the whole runway. In that, you'll see we've got the earthwork, the bridge over 20, obviously the lowering of 20, and then once you get the bridge connected, the connection between the existing elevation and the new elevation has to be built up. So that's at 29 there, and then basically everything all gets pulled together in 30. Keeping the airport open through these periods is going to be challenging. There will be approximately 1 construction season where we're going to be pretty much shut down. Leading up to it, we will keep at least 2,000 feet of runway open, so hopefully Skydive can keep flying and so forth like that, and smaller pistons, but the jets definitely are not going to be able to operate in there. So it is going to be a painful time, but very exciting with the new estimates. And if you recall, this is a little less than the number we looked at before because we subtracted the taxiway back out.
Oh.
So we are now,
trick.
yeah, we are now at 27.7 million. We were at 33 million before because 5 million of it was part of the parallel taxiway. It's not that we're not going to do the parallel taxiway. It's just that in this 5-year window, in order to cash flow it better, we're just focusing on the runway. We'll put a little handle at the end to turn around, and they'll back taxi the runway back to the existing parallel taxiway that you had to get off.
That's no big deal.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. That's the plan on the CIP, if you agree. Again, this is draft, and we're still fine-tuning the numbers with our other colleagues in the office. But if you approve that and the pre-application, we'll get those submitted before December 1st.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the 2026-2031 CIP submission to the FAA and NDOT.
2026, is that what? Oh, okay.
There's a
A second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, so that is
And then you need to approve the grant
That's item
application.
a, what's
For
that?
that A.
That's it. So, between-
Liz, do you want to talk about you
I
just did, right?
talked about the CIP and the pre-application. I think that can be one motion because it's really kind of the same action, right?
Okay,
You got it.
so that motion is through for both.
yeah, but then you need to say that you also approve the fiscal year 2026 grant pre-application.
And then I also want to follow up with a motion to approve the fiscal year 2026 grant pre-application for the improved runway to RSA, RPZ extension.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Uh,
Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, very good. So now we're down to AIP 31, pay request number 1, in the amount of $17,320. And you can see the feds and local share there. There's no state PO yet. So the federal share is $16,554, and the local will be $866 for now. It'll be half of that when the state PO comes together. That is the grant that was issued last year. So this was the fiscal year 2025 grant. It's paying for expenses with relationship to the runway extension design. There was previously work done, but we were not able to capture under a grant. So that $17,000 is basically a catch up for services that were already done, and it's going to make you whole on that. So that's that.
Where is that request?
That request was probably right after the pre-application. So it would be. Yeah. Sorry, I don't have the page number. Well, we've got the contractor's pay estimate. So the best thing to do is to go to the very back and to go forward like 5 pages to this. This is the letter of transmittal.
Okay.
And, yeah. Yeah, so what's being turned in this is one BFS invoice for $17,320. And it's an invoice from October 27th, 2025, which was, quite honestly, a bunch of time from 2 and 3 years ago that we never could bill for because we didn't have a place to pay you back for it.
I move we approve the payment of
It's right here.
AIP.
Yep,
AIP 31.
it's number B.
AIP 31, pay request number 1, the amount of $70,320. $17,320. Federal 16,454, state no PO yet, and local 866.
Our second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries, thank you.
Okay. And then the next item on the agenda is circling back to the runway crack ceiling and surface coat project. If you recall, we've got 2 grants that are still open on this, AIP 29 and AIP 30. You can see those in the little table on the agenda. And those grants still have a little bit of money in there, but we exceeded the grant amount with some additional work. So we've got an amendment request into Joe Wyman. We've had a lot of conversations with Joe Wyman here in the last few weeks. We believe that amendment may come before the next board meeting. So this payment is progress estimate number 2 to the contractor in the amount of $86,884.39. That's the balance that we owe the contractor but have not been able to pay him because the grant, that amount of money exceeds the available amount left in the grant, which the amount between the 2 grants is basically $66,000, so we're about $20,000 shy. So this grant amendment request would help make that whole. So that's what we're doing. We are optimistic that it may come before the December board meeting. And if it does, we would like permission to process that payment through Jessica and the city as quickly as we can because they've been waiting on it for quite a while.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve the progress estimate number 2 final pay with all the documents for the runway 220 crack sealant, the amount of $86,884.39.
I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
How is that going? Is the crack, everything holding up, all that sealant, everything pretty good?
They're gonna come back in the spring and fix some areas,
Okay.
but yeah, we're definitely gonna need a little bit of repair on that.
Did I see that, do we still have some retainage on that? Is this,
Well, right now, we still have $86,000, yeah.
well, no, but I thought there was a retainage on that, but
There was.
After that pay.
No, there isn't, but there is still a 1-year warranty, and so the punch list, there was an agreement that they would come back in the springtime after plowing activity and touch up the parts that were scarred. There were some areas that, when they put so the material was a micro overlay material called Grip Flex. So it's actually got a little bit of granite aggregate in the sealant. But where the issues were is when they sealed the cracks with the normal joint sealant material, the Grip Flex didn't stick very well in some of the areas to that material. So the idea would be when they come back, and I think it's a lot of times because the joint sealant didn't set up, they wanted to keep the runway down a shorter period of time because the runway was closed. So they were, working very quickly to try to get the runway back open. So with that, I think if the joint sealant material has some time to cure a little bit more, they come back in the spring and touch it up. I'm hoping that it'd be, because the joint sealant was still kind of flexible and that stuff was kind of flaking on top.
Okay.
So that's what the issue was, and they agreed they'll come back in the spring.
Here's an engineering question. Is that runway ever gonna change color, or is that just that dark colors, like
It does not. It will not oxidize like normal asphalt. It should stay the darker.
I understand, because I was returning from a cross country and it cut up like 9 o'clock. It was very dark. All I could see were the sight lights.
Oh, right.
And so I just used them to land. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
Especially as we're getting up in age with our eyes and things. It's just like so crazy.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that would, there was a change eventually,
Yeah.
It's here somewhere.
It's got.
Everybody's yelling here.
I know, except me.
From that regard, it definitely has its pros and cons. I mean, when it's really black, the runway markings really stand out in the daytime very well.
Yeah.
People can see them from Chicago, I've heard.
So that's a nice thing, and also the snow melt
Yes.
very rapidly.
Sure does.
Because it retains a lot of heat, surface heat.
Yeah.
But you're right, in night conditions, particularly with no moon, it's really dark. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
So that's that. Other items, was the motion made and approved?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The only other item that we haven't talked about that was on our report was the fuel farm, and we have circled back with that. Joe has promised us a speedy response because I want to get this thing bid so we can start it in the springtime. So I really don't see why they can say no, because that CMAR construction manager at risk is an allowed delivery method in the advisory circular. So we just need to get that moving. So to refresh.
And I saw your email to him.
Yeah, and Andrew's been on him quite a bit. So we're hopeful that we'll get the green light on that, and we can get that moving as well. Do you need anything from me as far as year-end encumbrances or anything with that appropriation?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I just told him, please.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's everything that we had.
Right, thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you for your time.
Old business? New business? Okay, new business. New business.
I don't know exactly what you guys want to do. My name is Larry Larman. I am the founder of the Sterling Foundation. I've come before the board to discuss building a museum and hopefully some type of a technical training school project here with the airport. And hopefully we will begin to build a lease from this point. And I don't know if you guys had any questions. I'm retired from the steel mill and definitely a private pilot.
Good. Any questions, comments to?
Well, it will be a hangar building with a hangar door and all that.
It'll be a 70-foot, there'll actually be 2 hangar doors. One will be 70-foot wide, 16 high. The other one will be 20-foot wide, 16 high. And propose the aircraft of choice inside that hangar will be a Howard DGA. I actually have a couple of airplanes of myself. I actually have a Howard and a 46-140 Cessna and a 1931 Waco QCF-2. So that's a Sarton Museum right there with the newest airplanes in 1946.
Right?
They're all tail draggers. I don't usually end up in a tricycle airplane on purpose.
Paul has put in his drawings just to make sure that they'll fit in our AOP, so that's something that he's already done, and that's what you're looking at right now. He already owns one of the buildings, the big one, 100 by 200 FBI building.
I think it's a great idea.
So, what I would suggest, I mean, you guys, if you can reach an agreement on a lease type of deal before we do any actual work, because we will need to submit an ALP update with that change to the FAA, so that, because that's not what your ALP currently shows. So we have to submit that, and then there is an environmental, it'll be a simple CADX, but there is an environmental, and then the FAA airspace that Larry's familiar with from previous encounters. So we'll do all those steps, but we'd really rather not do those or have Larry do any of his work until you guys can reach an agreement on the actual site.
So there's a hangar door here, right? That's an
Yes,
apron.
that would be the apron.
And where's the other one here?
This is one of the ways that we would lay it out. Yeah, it would either be here or we'd have to open up here to bring it out.
Because it says it's only 7 feet wide, the other is the smaller one, right?
The smaller one is,
22, right?
the smaller door is 22 foot wide. This would be, this we still kind of have to work on. This was pretty much just roughly put in here. This hangar will not be built first anyway. What we would build is a 20,000 square foot hangar. And the 22 foot door would actually open up into the parking lot for semi-truck delivery, to where if we truck in 985 Pratts, like 4 of them on a trailer, we can bring them in and offload them inside out of the weather.
Right.
Because it's 100 foot wide, so it would easily fit a semi-trailer and tractor and a
So how wide is this door?
70.
70.
It'd be the same width as the hangar door, 70 foot wide, 16 high.
It's like a good idea to me.
I'd like to make a motion that Jessica works with Larry on a lease agreement on there for the board to vote on for next month.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks for all that work, Justin.
And Paul, thank you for looking over that stuff early and.
Yeah, thank you
It's
so
like
much.
you had 2
for that.
days. Thank you for spending your 2 days with me on the phone.
That's my favorite color, definitely.
I'll definitely laugh at my cat.
Oh, that's, yeah.
For 15.
All right, I'd like to make a motion for the claims docket in the amount of $50,501.62.
I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. All right, correspondence.
None.
None? Okay. It seems like we've come to the end of this wonderful meeting. Oh, we got something here. Public, so I'm sorry. God, I know Paul always has something.
Yes, we know
I
Paul.
kept thinking,
We love your
was
comments.
he gonna fit in the loop?
Patiently waiting.
I'm sorry, and you know, I know.
No, that's okay, so I only have a couple cakes.
How about let's go on to public comments.
Oh, me? Okay. First, I've heard of this aircraft museum, I think that's awesome, super excited about that, I hope that can happen. Would there be public access to it?
Yeah, absolutely. I would want the community to be able to share the hangar and any good ideas with any type of aircraft building or any type of learning program or the EAA. I mean, I'm open to talk about any of it, 'cause that's the reason why I'm building, is for people in the community to get involved with the airport and aviation.
Where's your funding coming from?
From myself, a retired steelworker. It's from basically the Sterling Foundation, which will have we're trying to implement a Howard Aircraft Museum. I don't know if you're familiar with the Howard airplane. It's a tail wheel with a 985 Pratt hanging out the front, radial engine. Pretty cool airplane. I can show you guys pictures afterwards, but that's the main airplane of choice for the hangar. And that's what I'm going to try and do the aircraft work around, and maybe even teach people how to restore aircraft, because there's a big restoration platform out there for aircraft, and there's a big platform out there for AMPs that we're going to need a lot of in the next 20 years. AOP, I was just talking about at our meeting Saturday, because I was down in India on Saturday. I'm a lifetime AOPA member and lifetime EA member, so definitely deep roots with aviation. I would just like to get back to the grassroots and get people involved, community involved.
That's awesome.
And anything cool, we'll talk about whatever
Yeah.
could happen.
And did you see where it's going to be located on the map?
Or just cut for the fire station.
Yeah, right, here's the entrance road here, fire station, kind of in that grass field, right?
Awesome.
And
Love it.
Yeah.
Good. I'm for it. Vending machine. I just wanted to point out, if we did get a new vending machine and it could have a credit card reader, that would
Yeah,
be super
for
helpful
real.
for all the transiting
You know,
pilots.
in 2019 or 16 or whatever, it wasn't as big of a market for credit card vending machines,
Right.
but that's true.
These days, if we take big one, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, from what Jessica said, we'll look at the values. I mean, if all the repairs and services go to complicate things, I think we might just shoot for a new vending machine.
Yeah.
Not a new kit.
I'm normally a repair kind of person, but at some point, you guys need to call it.
Yeah.
I hope it's a $50 wire, just in case anybody cares about it.
Is it just not running at all?
No, it's just the refrigeration unit. It's running. The machine's totally fine. I just have a note on it that says the pop is room temperature. Anything in it is room temperature. So there's grab a cup, grab some ice, and go on your way. And
I don't know.
nobody's had a problem with
The
that.
most obvious
still need to
thing
get it repaired.
is a thermostat.
Is there the possibility of a DIY putting in a credit card reader in there? So
I think, so the last time I looked into the credit card reader, the city was against it. They don't have credit card readers on any of them. And that's because you have to pay for that service, and they didn't want to pay that. The amount of people that use the credit card doesn't pay for the service. So that was the problem, and I'm sure it's still gonna be a problem. I hate to even bring it up right now, because you're probably sad, but I mean, your $1 is not gonna pay, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I get it.
pay the actual monthly
big
payment it
enough.
is, yeah, to,
Well, I
They can have
now,
crap
so
anyway.
Not as big of a deal for me, but for visiting pilots. Okay. Do we have the new permanent AWAS radio now?
permanent
I think
AWAS.
there was a loaner for a while, right?
Yes, we have the permanent one.
Okay, well, I'm happy to report I was able to receive it 50 miles away.
Oh,
That's how
awesome.
So it is working great.
It's really good.
And it's a huge improvement over the 5 miles we
I
had.
need to, receive it when it's coming back in. It's very
Yeah.
nice.
Yay!
I just
Yeah.
Huge improvement.
No, it's there.
Start flying at noon, TY.
Once you find it.
On the 100R, it would be awesome if we can get that. Currently, there's only 2 models of airplane that can use it, the 172R and 172S. So once more airplanes can use it, then it can replace 100 low lead. But until that happens, we can't just get rid of 100 low lead for the 100R.
Which is why it's going in the 1,000-gallon above ground tank.
But once that happens, it'll be great, and everybody will love it. Paul Schaefer, we had talked about the visual glide slope not showing up in FAA documents because it's not efficient. Is that anything that, well, I'm on to a new thing, I guess. So I still have that request because my OCD says that it should be
I
added.
told him to bring this up.
Good memory.
Second one is, we would really like, we being pilots who fly here, we'd really like to have an instrument approach to the north.
Yeah.
Because a lot of reasons, it's when the wind is out of the north, trying to do a circling approach on what we have and going out over the water, which, it's really cold this time of year, is tough. So now the issue, I was talking to Jessica about it, obviously, if we're gonna redo the runway, there's no point in putting in a new instrument approach, possibly. So I guess what I don't understand is how much work is it, right? I can request it, but I don't wanna create undue work on you guys for something that's gonna be pointless.
No, the FAA website, you can request.
Right.
Initial report.
Yes.
Do it. Yeah, that's fine.
My other thought was, will that help show that there is demand for it?
Yeah.
Later on, and then we do have to do
And is that new? Because that, you never used to be able to request that approach, right?
It's been around for a while.
Has it?
Yeah, but there's all these requirements to actually write an instrument approach, and we do have up-to-date survey information on each end. But the north end is problematic.
Yes.
And so it is going to be challenging to get them to write an instrument approach for it.
But I'm talking about the south side.
Yeah,
I mean to the north.
yes.
So that way, going up that way,
Landing to the north.
yeah.
We have one landing to the south, but
Yeah.
it goes way out over Lake Michigan, which, is what it is.
Is it because of the tree lines you're saying? The going north?
I can't remember exactly why, but the departure surface on a missed approach to the north is the issue, I believe, on what they, why it's not there now.
Interesting.
So, because your surface is right at the 20 to 1 on the north end because of the trees.
Right. Well, it feels like if it's okay for landing, it should be okay for a missed approach.
Yeah, I think it's been a while. I think request it, and if the FAA can write it, they will. It'll be in the queue. Now, we've also been told that because of attrition in the FAA due to recent events and so forth like that, that the 18th month approach development procedure is now 24 months, and so it could be a couple of years. But also, I think with the new runway ends, when they're working on the new approaches for the new runway ends, I hope we kind of clear that up anyway. But I don't think it hurts to request it. And that's why it's there.
Yeah.
So, and we do have survey data that didn't exist before this runway project happened, because when we updated the ALP with the new runway data on it, the instrument approaches that you have now have been published a lot longer than that ALP update. So that data is more recent, and it could be that we just have not requested it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm being a little ignorant here, so he makes a request, right? So what happens?
Well, we can too. You can,
So what happens? What's the process? What follows? Is FAA? I mean, how are we gonna get that?
Yep. So when it goes onto an online request, it goes into a queue. There are regional groups. I think they call it RAP, Regional Approach Procedure Committee, and it's a whole. I don't know exactly who's on it, but there's a lot of FAA people, and then they basically prioritize which approaches. It's like that group determines the order of importance that approaches are, and particularly the new approaches are written to.
Okay.
So then it gets into a queue, and then it goes into a queue, and then you basically wait, you return, it works its way through the approach procedure development, and there's a whole team of FAA people that sit down and write the instrument approaches, and then once it gets written, they have to come and flight check it. So there's an FAA team that comes out and flight checks it, and that's a whole process. After the flight check has passed, then it goes in the queue for publication. They publish checks every 56 days, and then it would be on the next available publication. But there's a lot of steps, before, and that first step is getting past that RAP, which is the Regional Approach Procedures Committee group, to get it on the queue.
So 10 years from now, no.
Well, it'll probably get approved and signed off right about the time to be taken out of commission when the runway closes.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say it's.
But maybe that'll make it easier when they do do the extension, like half the work will be done.
Yeah,
It's not like they're starting from scratch.
but then, so that approach, that's different than the visual glide slope angle that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
published. Yeah, because that's a BGSI data sheet that we've submitted multiple times now to multiple different people, and for whatever reason, it never makes it in the publication. I don't know why. The states asked for it, the FAA's asked for it, and we have it, and we just forward it to them every time. I think Jessica's probably got it saved on her desktop by now. It's there. I have no idea why it's not published.
No, that's very low importance, but
Yeah.
it just in the back of my head, I was thinking about it.
Yeah, it's annoying because it should be published.
Cool.
All right, that's all this public member has.
All right, thank you, Paul. Any other public comment? I guess, can I get a motion for adjournment?
Move we adjourn the meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you so much, everybody.
Three.